Hey guys, before we get into things, please subscribe to our channel and make sure you turn on notifications so you know every time we post. And also, head over to our social pages, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram so you can see clips and chat wrestling with us. But now, let's get into the video.
C2 wrestling fans, what is up? It is your boy Snowden coming at you guys again with another Raw review. But I want to talk about something before we get into this Raw review. I want to talk about what this Raw was leading up to, and that is this weekend's Survivor Series. What I want to bring up in particular is us. It's C2. We're going to be coming at you guys live here, C2 Wrestling, live reaction, review, post, and afterwards. We want to interact with the fans during the show. Pop in, say what's up. We're going to be having an absolute blast over here at C2 Wrestling. But tonight, it's Monday Night Raw. Now, there's only a few things I want to get into with this episode of Raw. Nothing all too wild leading into this Saturday's Survivor Series. But I want to talk about Intercontinental title news. Not just one Intercontinental title, but two Intercontinental titles. If you did not see, they announced a Women's Intercontinental Championship kind of on Monday Night Raw. Weird way to go about it, in my opinion. They announced a Women's Intercontinental Championship. Same belt we have, white strap, before the show to the local fans. I don't really know what the plan was there. We did see later on in the actual show, Monday Night Raw, they had mentioned it. They showed the clip a little bit. Cool, it's definitely good, but not really having me hyped with the way they kind of just announced it. I feel like they had such an avenue to make this bigger than what we just got, especially with Monday Night Raw moving to Netflix in only a few weeks. Even if they would have waited another, 5, 6 weeks and debuted that title, announcing it on Monday Night Raw, unless the idea is to have the tournament finish up on Monday Night Raw January 6th, which makes a lot of sense. Nonetheless, weak way to introduce the title. New title should be announced on air in front of the fans, not only live in the arena, but the ones watching at home as well. Still, we saw this coming. We had said this would be happening at C2 Wrestling, that an Intercontinental title for the women is on the way. Monday Night Raw, I don't know who's going to get this belt. When they announced the United States Championship, it seemed pretty evident that somebody like a Chelsea Green was at the top of that list to take that belt. Not that that's even happened yet, but it's still possible. But this Intercontinental title on Raw, doors are open. It's a good thing. I've seen some online talk already. People say it's too many titles. People want another title. I'm on the boat of brand split, so I like each brand having its own title, men and women's. It is a lot of titles, though. Women's roster is very diverse, especially with the up and coming NXT roster. I think we're going to need a little bit of that, though. I think a little bit of those up and comers in NXT need to trickle into the main roster in the next, year or so, and that will give more depth to the main roster for both Raw and SmackDown, adding more potential matchups for both the United States and Women's Intercontinental Championship. But again, overall, weak introduction. I'm still looking forward to it. Now, in somewhat similar news regarding an Intercontinental Championship, tonight we had Braun Breaker, your Intercontinental Champion, versus Ludwig Kaiser, and this match was interrupted none other than by Sheamus, who comes out to the ring, costing Ludwig Kaiser his matchup against Braun Breaker, resulting in all three men brawling outside the ring, brawling through commercial break, up the ramp, up to the top of the arena. All three men get separated by security. Adam Pearce comes out and announces this Saturday at Survivor Series, Braun Breaker defends the Intercontinental Championship against Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus. Triple threat matchup. I think this is fantastic. This match very well is the show stealer this Saturday at War Games. They did go on to even announce a United States Championship title match between LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura. So the War Games card is definitely filled up at this point. 2 War Games matches, 3 title matches outside of that. Completely stacked show. Nothing else more you could really ask for, if I'm being honest. But in regards to tonight's Monday Night Raw, the Intercontinental title feud between these 3 gentlemen, I don't really know where they're going with Ludwig and Sheamus in the long run. But Braun Breaker seems to come out victorious in this feud, in my opinion, and that's what I would want. Ludwig and Sheamus are both great, both fantastic. Ludwig Kaiser is one of the most underrated guys in the company. Sheamus deserves that Intercontinental title run before his career is over. I would love to see them both get another shot, both of them get a title run down the line. But when it comes to Braun Breaker, who kind of flip flopped the title a little bit with Jey Uso, in which I predicted here at C2 Wrestling, go way back and watch the videos. I called the shots for months on that one. So by no means am I mad at that. But now that the title is back on Braun Breaker, we got to get a strong heel beast run out of Braun Breaker. There's been some reports that he's going to be kind of playing a middle of the pack heel face, which is okay. Point is, I need him to defend the title, win a few matches, put a couple heads on spikes, put a couple names in the back of that shirt of guys you've taken out, and move it along. Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus are two of those names that Braun Breaker is going to do that with, in my opinion, and I want nothing else but that. This matchup, again, I think steals the show Saturday at Survivor Series. Triple threat between these three guys. Call me crazy. I think others would agree that they're some of the best talents WWE has. I think this is going to be match of the year. All right, guys. Now, the last thing I really want to get into regarding Monday Night Raw tonight is none other than The New Day. The New Day has an announcement that next week is their 10-year anniversary show on Monday Night Raw. And the New Day has a little bit of a backstage segment after we see that. And they're kind of rallying, going to the ring excited. Two guys on the same page yet again. And they lose a very quick matchup, resulting in frustration. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods both storm to the back, yelling at each other, saying more hurtful things than either of them have ever said on TV ever before. Kofi Kingston with some shots, Xavier Woods with shots right back. Kofi says something along the lines of, "You haven't held a singles title yet because you're not good enough. Big E and I didn't let you call the shots because you're not good enough." And you could tell these points are hitting hard to Woods. Both men upset and frustrated say, "See you at the anniversary next week." And they walk away. I wasn't sure what was going to go down there. If somebody was going to shove somebody, push each other down. I didn't think anybody was going to attack one another quite yet. But I don't even know if it's getting there. It's very intriguing to see. The New Day is one of those stables, one of those tag teams that you really thought would never, ever break up, in all honesty. But yet here we are. They really might. But we're missing a big piece to the puzzle here. And that is the third member of the New Day in Big E. I almost said the third member of Big E, the New Day. That would have made no sense. But you get what I mean. It's okay. Big E is going to play a big role, literally, in this whole breakup, this whole debacle between the New Day. It's the third member, Big E. Now, I'm not saying he's next week going to get physical or get back in the ring or announce he's returning or whatever. I have no idea. He might never wrestle again, and that is okay. Big E's health is obviously more important than him wrestling, but I think the role he's going to play in the New Day breaking up or sticking together or whatever happens here, it hinges on Big E. They have been running this storyline of New Day tension for a while now, waiting literally for this 10-year anniversary. And now it's only 1 week out. It's the most must-see thing next week, in my opinion. And we got War Games Fallout after Saturday. And I'm still thinking New Day. That's what I want to go see next week. So Big E is going to play a big role again in this segment next week. I don't know. I kind of want them to break up. I kind of don't want them to break up. Part of me wants them to stick together in the fantasy world that Big E can wrestle again. Maybe they run that route a little bit. They all stick together, get them another tag title run, and then they can go their separate ways for a little bit longer. If they're not going to, I do think I need to see Woods kind of get that single run. I think the shots that Kofi took tonight at Woods, no matter what happens next week, sets Woods up to kind of have a singles run as a heel face. Who really knows? But regardless, the New Day, one of the most illustrious stables in all of wrestling history. 10-year anniversary, potentially breaking up. It hurts my heart to even think about. We were there at WrestleMania 33, myself and the other half of C2 Wrestling, Chris, when they announced the Hardy Boys return. A one-of-a-kind segment, something we'll never see again in wrestling history. The New Day, it came around in an era of tag teams really being on the outs. Not really a whole lot going on in the world of tag team wrestling. And then the New Day formed to a lot of hatred, turning it into the greatest tag team of all time, arguably. This segment next week, this whole feud, This whole little rivalry, whatever you want to call it, is not getting the attention it deserves. Next week's Monday Night Raw is must see TV. Just like, yet again, this Saturday Survivor Series must see live reactions here at C2 Wrestling. I want you guys to go down below, like and subscribe, comment on the videos, hit us with a follow on all the social media. We're coming at you live yet again for the first time at Survivor Series, but that's not going to be the end of it. We got a lot of great content coming your way, guys. Talk to you soon.